Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Master Division in the City of Lights tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, sign up on patreon.com to get the updated text, guys. So if you are going for a good position, might looking to get to the weekend round, or even going for a goal or a banner, then the updated text, guys, will help you no matter what position you're looking for. Also visit golfclashsummer.com for more Golf Clash related content. In this playthrough for Master, I'm going to play with all from Kingmakers to special balls. If you are playing in Master, you need to be prepared on spending special balls. That's not, obviously I would love for it to not be that way, but that's a fact. That's much needed. So really, if you're going into Master or considering Master only to play with Titans or Kingmaker, you should think twice before you do that, because we do get opportunities by playing, especially on the par 3s with wind resistance balls, and also even on par 4s, which you will see in this playthrough. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna talk you through. As always, make sure you make a comment in the chat if you're watching this one as a premiere. Otherwise, you make a comment in the comment section below if you're watching it as a video. So hole number 1, you will see two types of approaches. First, one with a turkey ball, which is power 2, side spin 1, and wind resistance 5. Red ring by the rough line at the +1 yard mark. We are playing with 5.5 bar topspin and as much side spin to the right, which is maximum 2.5 bars. Half a ball of curl outside the adjustment ring to the right, and we are over adjusting the shot 10%. We do want to get this ball to around 350 to 355 yards, and from there we are going to be able to play a very nice approach, which is the rough bump. Here I'm going to play with 1.5 bar topspin, and I'm also going to, in that case, go with side spin to the right. Then you might wonder here, you see that I'm playing with side spin to the left. And that is not a mistake, because that's what I started with. But as been progressing and playing a little bit more, then I can say for sure that we do want to have side spin to the right instead. 1 bar side spin to the right, as we do want to kick back the ball to the right, as we otherwise going to miss left. Unfortunately, we hit great, and in this case we're gonna go short. Otherwise the line looks very good. 10% extra for the rough bump. And the rough bump there, the reason why I do want to play the rough bump only with a wind resistance ball is due to the fact that having more wind, we're gonna drop further down on the fairway, and that's gonna mess up the adjustment. Kingmaker ball, max side spin to the right, and we're gonna go with somewhere between 5 to 7 bars of topspin, depending on what you feel comfortable with. Going with a little bit of curl to the right, not much. I would say that half a ball here wouldn't be bad, but as we do have more side spin than what we do have on a turkey ball, the side spin will do a lot more to the right. But we're coming in a little bit too close there to the rough line, but we still lay up there in the end. Second shot here, and now you can see that I'm actually looking for the rough bump, but I look at the wind and see that that is going to put me down on a much further down spot, which is going to make me mess up my adjustment big time. So here you have two options. Either you take the Saturn, go with max backspin, and you go very close to the green and use the max backspin shot, or you're going to line up and you're going to bounce over the rough, over the sand, using a B52 or a Goliath or a Saturn, or whatever long iron you might want to use, and then you bounce over the rough and the sand. The elevation, no matter what type of shot you're playing, for the drive and for the second shot, it's 10% for both. So have that in mind. I wanted to give you two types of way of playing, as I do believe, playing with a power, like a more wind resistance ball on a par 4, then I want to at least add an option when it comes to playing with a power 3. Now we come to hole number 2, only with a eyeball. Power 1 is what I do want to have, and we do want to play here when it comes to going with 5.5 bar backspin, but now you can see I'm using 4 bars side spin to the right. It's gonna be a little bit too much. We do want to play with 3 to 3.2 bars of side spin, as you're gonna notice that I'm gonna miss right. Max distance with a 20% over adjustment, and the 20% is based on a power 1 ball, nothing else. So power 1 settings, 20% extra, and then we're gonna come in with a very nice speed, but as you can see with the 4 bars of side spin to the right, it's way too much. So hole number 3, here you will see 2 approaches as well. One where we play it a little bit more conservative, and one where we play it aggressive. So first, 10% extra for the drive, max top spin, and then 3 bar side spin to the left. And now you can see that I'm a little bit too far down here as we are at the bunker. So the thing that I do is I adjust from max plus 10, push up my target 1 ring, and then I'm gonna take my shot. And the reason we push up our target is because we do want to compensate, or let's say like this, we do need more distance from the start, so we do need to push it up to give us that distance, and in that way we will bounce there on the fairway. You can hit great left, you can hit great right, you will still be fine, even with a perfect, obviously. Second shot, now we're going to approach with the Guardian here. You can choose to play with the Cataclysm, or in worst case scenario a Sniper. I would honestly though make you want to consider to maybe go with a power 5 ball for the drive, even with this type of drive as well, so you especially give yourself more distance for the second shot. 5 bars of backspin, a couple of bars side spin to the left, and here the spin settings will change depending on how you are as a player. Some players want to go with more side spin, some players might want to compensate with a little bit of curl to the left. The thing that we do need to have in mind though is that we do need to help our ball, as all the green area and fairway area are sloping left to right, so we need to help our ball stay on the more of the left side of the pin. And the second shot, minus 5%. Sorry, I forgot about that. Hole number 3, once again, more aggressive shot. We're gonna play with 5.5 bar top spin, 5.5 bar side spin to the left. And now we do need to make sure that when we do adjust for this shot here, we play 10% extra. And here we do need to be really focused on, do we have enough tailwind with our drive or do we not? When we adjust here, we're gonna adjust for max plus 10, and as you can see, we're gonna drop down to be around plus 3 yard mark. Then we push up the target up to max, and we go with max overpower and trying to hit the ball perfect. The thing that we do want to go with here is that we do want to bounce on the fairway and then to roll here up very nicely. A bit risky approach, as you know, if you make a very bad drive or if you have more crosswind than you do have tailwind, then you might gonna have a problem. But the beautiful thing with this type of shot is that it actually opens up, if you do it well, to do a very nice chance for an albatross here. And the thing that we do want to do is to go with almost max backspin combined with a couple of bars of side spin to the left, and we do want to aim on the left side of the pin. 14.1 is a lot of wind, and you can see here that we are going to adjust further up there to a higher point, and then we're going to go with a little bit of curl against the wind to try to keep ourselves on the left side here. We come up here and the backspin will help us fall back down. Unfortunately, we didn't really catch the funnel, but we're close to it. Hole number 4, now I'm going to give you an approach with a power 0, wind 5, side spin 3 ball. And that's the only thing that I'm gonna give you. This rough bump, you can hit great left, great right, and hit perfect, so you don't have to be afraid about that. Yellow ring slightly outside the rough, and we do want to play with 2 bars of backspin and 4 bars of side spin to the left, with the ball guidance around 1 green square to the left of the pin. And then we're going to adjust from the other direction, so we're gonna push our target away from each other, which is due to that the trees would otherwise be in play. But we're gonna have a very simple adjustment here, everyone. We're gonna play it 1-to-1. So whatever the wind says is what we're going to play. And then we have a very good chance making a hole-in-one from distance. For those of you looking for the elevation in itself, it's max +10 power 0 numbers. Hole number 5, red ring by the rough line. We play with a power 3 ball. I used the Centurion to reduce the wind for me a little bit. You can definitely play with a Kingmaker. In this scenario, I'm playing with 6.5 bar topspin. I would say minimum is 6, maximum is 6.5. I'm also adding as much side spin to the right possible to just help our ball to get over here. And the risk that we do take here is that we're gonna get the ball to drop down in a downhill slope type of thingy on the fairway, and then we're gonna roll far. But the only thing that we do want to focus on is to get up to this spot and then try to catch the funnel. And I know by showing this, it's gonna help a lot of players, including myself, to actually know how to adjust for this funnel when it's time to taking shot. We do want to approach the pin pretty straightforward. As you can see, look at the funnel now. When going back and forth, the ball guideline is basically stuck, which means that we do have room to over and under adjust and still be okay. I'm playing this one minimum distance +10%. And then we are going to take our shot, we bounce there, and then the 2 bars top spin combined with a side spin to the left will take us nicely down towards the pin. This is going to be an absolute must eagle when it comes to this tournament. Hole number 6, lottery hole. I do not like this hole based on that, you know. We're going to aim up with our white ring, trying to cut the position where the water is ending. And then we're gonna go with all but 1 bar top spin and then as much side spin to the right. The only thing that I'm doing as a mistake here is that I'm using full curl. We do not want to use full curl. We do need to take off approximately 1 ball of curl, because otherwise we're gonna get the ball to bounce on the fairway. Even if we fall short, we're gonna have no problem here reaching for the pin. And the thing that I'm trying to do is to use the back end of the green to let the ball fall back down. So I'm trying to go back and forth, trying to give myself a possibility here with the thorn. You know, it's a tough adjustment, as we do have a we have a crosswind, tailwind, 14 mile per hour. That's never easy to adjust for, but it at least gives us an opportunity. Once again, this is a lottery hole in my opinion. I think it's unfortunate that we see this type of wind in Master, but we will have to go for it because we can actually go for green, which many players has already done. Hole number 7, 10% extra for the drive, and here you're gonna see 2 approaches, one with a Kingmaker, which is a normal ball, and then one with a power wand wind 5, with 2 slight different changes when it comes to approaching the pin. Red ring by the rough, red ring by the sand, and then we're going to adjust maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. And the only thing that we do want to do here is to get the ball to bounce on the fairway, getting it down here on the fairway, and to get to around 275 to 280 yards. 279, that's perfect. And then we do have the B52 from distance. The thing here, once again, I'm looking for, you know, a spot where we do have a good bounce. And here, obviously, with the headwind, it's gonna be very hard to you know, bounce over that much rough. And here you will see a lot of players playing with a wind 5 ball to reduce the wind and go more or less straight at the pin. This is going to be a very good chance, in my opinion, making an eagle from distance, no matter how you're approaching this pin. But I would suggest that you use the B52 if you do have it maxed out, as you do get a good ball guideline. Otherwise, I would, if I have the B52 6 or below, I would be going with the Goliath, as then the ball guideline is going to be the same. But the ball guideline here is very valuable when we are shooting from so far away, so far distance here. Very bad shot in terms of, you know, executing, getting it up to green, but that's not something that we're gonna bring with us. But the second shot, 20% extra. So, wind 5 approach, I'm gonna play with max side spin to the right, which is 4.5 bar. And then we're gonna add half a bar of backspin. And then I'm gonna make, once again, an easy adjustment here, max +10, but I'm going to transform that into 1-to-1 -1. So I take the wind and subtract 1 from 8.6 and give me 7.6 in rings. Slight amount of curl to the right there to just keep our ball to stay here on the right side as much as we can, and we do want to get the ball to around 280 yards. 280, and now we're gonna have a sniper, and this sniper here is gonna be a very interesting shot. I'm going to play it 8.6 rings for 8.2 miles per hour, so 1 to 1 plus 0.4, but when it comes to the elevation, I'm actually using minimum distance plus 35% in this example. That could obviously be transformed to play more mid-distance with less elevation, or max distance with even more less elevation. Max backspin, max side spin to the left, aim for the back end of the green, and the ball guide just on the right side of the cup, and then we're gonna see a nice little way for the ball to roll down towards the pin. Looks tricky, but it's not that tricky. It's actually a pretty nice approach. Hole number 8, and here we're going to have an approach where we're gonna use the red ring by the rough line to the right and the blue ring just slightly inside the shadow, as you can probably see. 5.3 bars backspin and 2 bars of side spin to the left. And now when we adjust for minimum distance plus 15%. But look now, when we have wind where we do adjust up to that little platform there, we do need to turn the screen around so that it's pointing towards the pin, and then we need to pull back just a little bit, because if we adjust up to that hill, the ball is gonna carry a little bit too far, and that's going to give us a little bit different bounce, and that's not what we do want. Then we're gonna miss most likely way out to the left. So therefore that's very important. Low wind on hole number 8 is very appreciated. Hole number 9, now we're just gonna play a safe shot over to the left, the max side spin on our club, and then we're gonna adjust for maximum distance with nothing extra, no elevation. I know there will be players watching here and saying, I'll play this one 10%. Yeah, that will work as well. But if you're matching landing, aiming point and where the ball lands, it's 0. I push up my target a little bit in the end to make sure that I compensate for the loss of distance that we do have using a power 3 ball. The only thing that I do want to do here is to get the ball to be as close to the top left corner here of the rough. And then you maybe wonder, I don't want to push up my target. No, then you play with a power 4 ball. Obviously, you can do that without any problems. Second shot here, you actually have a little opportunity here, guys. I think people have been forgetting about that, because we are gonna use 3 bars top spin and as much side spin to the right possible. We are going to adjust for maximum distance plus 10%. And then we're gonna go with a decent amount of curl here. And when we do that, we're gonna obviously take the shot, and I'm not expecting an albatross, but I want the ball to bounce out there. I know there is a power slice here going from the left, there is a power hook going from the right with a drive, but I'm not really there yet. I don't see the benefit of doing those shots yet, because we don't really have anything dialed in from distance. So I'm gonna skip that, and if it comes to the point where we find a consistent way without risking that much, then I'm gonna also be looking to add that into the way that I'm playing. But as for now, I'm gonna lay up and just play it safe and take the eagle. So everybody, thank you so much for watching this playthrough for Master. I hope you appreciate it. I've been using a lot of tweaks to these notes over these 2 days that has been for the tournament. And please do not hesitate to make a comment in the comment section below. Video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Get the text guides by signing up on Patreon, link in the description down below. Good luck in the tournament.